And outside this bikie clubhouse, there's a definite chill in the air. Last night, 7:30 was allowed in to film a most unlikely meeting of minds. Senior members of the country's most notorious bikie groups, the Hells Angels, the Rebels, the Lone Wolves, the Comancheros, the Nomads, the Black Uhlans. Traditional foes coming together under one roof.
We don't talk, we've never have, and we cop it on the chin. We now open this political discussion, and now the topic is, the biggest topic in town at the moment is drive-bys.
They're here for a reason, and they have a message.
You know, enough is enough. We've got to start saying something. You know what I mean? And unless we start saying something, we're going to get bent over left, right and centre. We ain't going to have a lifestyle. And these people that are, you know, fighting over turf line, there ain't going to be a turf to fight over. It's finished.
It's taken what these outlaw motorcycle gang members say is an extraordinary act of police provocation to get them here.
Police search warrant!
Doors open, with me, police search warrant!
Starting Friday morning, New South Wales Police launched a 72-hour blitz, raiding more than 1,000 homes, properties and businesses, all allegedly connected to members of bikie gangs.
On the ground!
Come outside, them. Search warrants, outside. Task Force Spartan was out and about on the weekend. He's going to go get a visit.
Police search warrant! Open the door!
3,000 officers targeted several clubs in several areas, all as a result of a recent spate of drive-bys that's engulfed Western Sydney and terrified local communities. There were 555 arrests and almost 1,000 charges laid. Yesterday, New South Wales Police were describing it as an outstanding result, despite the fact that only 14 firearms were seized.
Just be very careful. Don't lose the message in the statistics. This was an in-your-face policing.
Today, the talk was tougher.
We're serious about this. We're getting on with the business. It's no nonsense.
What started out with a few shootings in Western and southwestern Sydney several months ago has erupted into a plague of drive-bys. In the month of April alone, there were 23 shootings, almost 60 all up. Tattoo parlours, small businesses, cars have been shot up. New South Wales Police are pointing the finger at two rival bikie gangs, the Hells Angels and the Nomads, who've been locked in a fierce conflict over numbers and turf. Control of the epicentre of the illicit drug trade, King's Cross.
What we're seeing at the moment is a series of skirmishes between various bikie groups, which, if they continue, will eventually lead to an all-out war.
Clive Small is a former detective and assistant commissioner of New South Wales Police. In his day, drive-by shootings weren't the way business brawls were resolved.
The past 10 to 15 years has seen quite significant changes in the outlaw motorcycle gangs. A lot of the traditional rules and regulations that they operated by have been broken down. What you have now are bikies forming alliances with groups, not only Middle Eastern crime gangs, but other groups as well, that they would never have dealt with in the past.
I'll tell you why these shootings happen. Because no one follows the rules anymore. There used to be bikies, no shooting houses, no shooting families in front of family members, no attacking businesses.
The code of ethics, that just doesn't happen, as you've just said, doesn't support it. But I sort of get worried now, anyone that rides a bike, you know, happens to wear a leather jacket, which is not unusual, you're going to be targeted for being a gun-toting, assassin.
To blame Middle Eastern people just for doing all the shooting, I think that's fair at all, mate. They're all Australian, they're born here, so why paint them as Middle Eastern?
There's no respect. The family member's going to get hit, someone's wife or someone's kid's going to die, and what's going to happen to the bike culture? Bike culture's going to be finished.
Are we on the cusp of a full-scale war?
Well, I think we are, and it could take only one incident to step up. We've seen a lot of drive-by shootings, for example. If it was a case that in one of these shootings a family member or a child was killed or injured, that could throw you into a war stage.
The drive-bys have already crossed state boundaries, with a spate of bikie-related shootings in South Australia, Western Australia and the brazen shooting in the middle of a Gold Coast shopping centre on Saturday, giving rise to fears that law enforcement and governments, state and federal, have lost control.
But if we don't do something seriously and be fair dinkum about this, we're going to see more bloodbaths in our streets and innocent people maimed or killed.
In a bid to return to law and order, several states have now introduced legislation which would criminalise membership and association with bikie gangs. This is despite the fact that last year the High Court threw out similar laws being pursued by South Australia and New South Wales.
This is all about targeting people for who they are. It's not about targeting them for what they do.
But I think they'll get a rude shock when they start bringing it in, because they obviously don't know what the word friendship is. People will go to jail for their friends.
Today, New South Wales Police Minister Mick Gallagher was under no illusions. The statute may be redrafted, but the fight will be fierce.
I've got no doubt that they will try to challenge it. They've got lots of money, lots of bravado, but what they've now started to work out is that the New South Wales Police Force, supported by the government, don't take a backward step.